What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Shout out to everyone subscribing to the channel, also liking the videos. I appreciate that. In this video, we're going to be talking about T-Mobile and the possibility that they would merge with another mobile carrier or even a cable company. Now, recently, some of the people from T-Mobile have been talking about this idea because obviously in the industry, a lot of people are asking T-Mobile questions whether they would merge with another company, and there's been a lot of talk about that ever since that other companies have tried to acquire T-Mobile. We've seen even Sprint and the situation with them and people saying that they might merge with another company. So a lot of people are talking about this. Now, when the media has asked T-Mobile what they thought about the idea of merging even with Sprint, they basically said they weren't interested really in that anymore because the value of Sprint is really not that impressive to T-Mobile. Based on what T-Mobile is saying, it looks like they're interested in a cable company. Now, I'll just say this much because everyone says something different out there, including T-Mobile sometimes. I think that T-Mobile would have a great opportunity merging with a cable company if they can continue to increase their value, which they have been doing. So they're making a lot of changes, they're gaining a lot of customers, so they have a reason to be thinking that merging with a cable company would be great for them. But this is really the situation when we talk about T-Mobile and what that would mean for even customers, such as some of the people who are subscribed to my channel. I read the comments and I see a lot of you guys are talking about T-Mobile and what you like about the company, which I think is awesome. And let's think about this. What would happen to T-Mobile if they merged with the cable company? Now, we already seen some of the stuff from Verizon and AT&T. I think T-Mobile is acknowledging the fact that the companies that they're competing with, because they have additional services, which I've been talking about, they think that competition is getting to the point where for them to even compete with those companies, for it to be fair, that they would need those additional services so they can acquire those additional customers, or at least have the opportunity to. Now, with Verizon and AT&T, including with DirecTV, and then you see some of the other cable companies out there also. The cable companies are really ridiculous, and we all know that. You know, there's a lot of issues with the cable TV industry. You see how they even charge for your home internet, because a lot of them have home internet services also. And then we actually ask the question, why don't you include the mobile data services with your plans, such as like Verizon? They don't do that because they want more opportunities to make additional money. Yes, they're a business, but a lot of times that's not fair for consumers. And that's something I really don't like about Verizon. If you have the mobile data services and then you have people out there using their data for other applications, but not for the TV services now, where you can watch your TV service through Verizon's mobile data services, but meanwhile you don't include the pricing for everything together, consumers are paying more money than they should. Not only that, with the TV services, when you get 1 million channels, you're paying a lot more because you're paying really for all of those TV stations, and a lot of them you probably don't even use. Then we talk about some of the competitors out there, including Google now, who's going to have a TV service called YouTube TV. But if you look at what Google's even doing, they're trying to tier the stations also, where you have to pay additional money for certain TV stations. So, this is where it's interesting. If T-Mobile really wants to change the industry, which is possible they could do, including the cable TV industry, I think they would really have to have the same kind of attitude with their mobile data services that they would have with the cable TV industry, where you're changing the pricing, where you're being a lot more honest than your competitors, because right now T-Mobile is with their current pricing. They're just telling you exactly what you're going to pay for the mobile data services. And if you can include those TV services, we're going to talk about a lot of changes in the cable TV industry that are really needed. But we also have to say this. If a cable TV company acquires T-Mobile, what do you think that TV company would want to do if they have an opportunity to acquire T-Mobile? Of course, they're going to be involved in the same nonsense that they were before because they're charging people left and right for TV stations that they don't even use, like I was talking about before, and the way they charge you for your home internet, and they also cap data. There's a whole bunch of things going on. Because when companies are not honest with their consumers, and you have a lot of issues with these companies continuously, I'm not sure how good a cable company would be for T-Mobile and their customers. Because T-Mobile right now, they're doing what they want to do because they're owned by Deutsche Telekom, but basically Deutsche Telekom in Germany is allowing T-Mobile to do what they want to do, and T-Mobile is successful at doing that right now. So if a cable company gets involved and they have the influence over T-Mobile, it might be a situation where consumers are just going to have to pay a lot more because that's how it is in the cable TV industry. That's real talk about it because T-Mobile is really impressive right now. But with those cable TV companies and the way they can acquire a mobile data carrier, it might be a real mess. and it might not really be good for consumers. That's what I'm saying, because these cable TV companies, unless you can change the way the industry is charging for cable TV, which a lot of these companies don't want to do that because they're making a lot of money by the way it is right now. And that involves a lot of nonsense, a lot of issues in that industry, and you guys know that. Everyone who pays for a cable TV plan and also your home internet, you know it's not impressive. And if you even compare that to what T-Mobile is doing, T-Mobile is so much more impressive than that because they're being honest with their customers. And the way they're changing things in the mobile data industry is a lot more impressive than anything going on in the cable TV industry. Even with Google trying to compete with YouTube TV, we still have to pay for additional channels and use traditional cable TV because that's where we have to get those additional channels. It's really not fair. Every time that you have to use a cable TV plan, you guys know that you're overpaying for it. There's so many different cable TV plans. When you use one just like for a year or whatever, then they call it a promotion, and then in the following year, you're paying more money for the same services. Now, is that fair for someone who continuously uses the same company? I don't think so. It shouldn't be like that. Because when you pay for these TV plans, and by the way, you guys were talking about this on that video when I was talking about T-Mobile and Sprint. The way Sprint is charging for their new quote-unquote unlimited data plans, that pricing is for like a year or something. Then after that, you're going to have to pay more money for the same plan. And I don't think that's right. I think if somebody pays for a mobile data plan, like what T-Mobile's doing, and they offer you the cheapest price, that's what you should pay, and it shouldn't increase. Why? Because it's the same prices. Yeah, there might be circumstances where they would have to charge you more, but whatever. We're talking about normally. It shouldn't have to be more money for the same services. And the cable TV companies are the worst at doing that. They say that you got a promotion. What? What do you mean I got a promotion? You were charging me for cable TV services, and out of nowhere, you increased the price. And not only that, you're offering the same exact service. How are you improving your company? How are you making the services better? Are you doing anything to improve the services? No, you are not. You are continuously overcharging consumers. It's a bunch of nonsense. So I think that if T-Mobile wants to merge with a cable company, they should really think about who they're going to merge with. And the best situation would be that T-Mobile has the same kind of attitude they have with the mobile data industry. But the problem though is with that, when a company acquires a company like T-Mobile, and let's just say that it's a cable TV company with a lot of influence and also a lot of money. Because if a company acquires T-Mobile, they're going to have to pay a lot of money. So they're probably going to be a company that has a lot of influence. And we all know what that means. That's going to mean a lot more nonsense in the industry. Just because it's T-Mobile doesn't mean that cable TV company is going to be like T-Mobile. They might have their own ideas, which again, might not be good for T-Mobile customers. It seems like with companies like Sprint and T-Mobile, their goal is to get acquired because they're really having issues competing with Verizon and AT&T based on the influence that Verizon and AT&T have. A lot of money, a lot of customers, a lot of influence in the industry, and also they sell a lot of their mobile data plans and their cable TV plans with a lot of nonsense. I think the best situation is if T-Mobile can get involved in the cable TV industry, if that's their idea, which I was talking about already. I thought it was interesting at one point in time. John Ledger didn't really want to talk about that, and he said they weren't interested or whatever was going on. They're focused on the mobile data industry, of course, because they're not involved with TV services like a Verizon or AT&T. But if you have T-Mobile out there, and now they're starting to say they're interested in cable TV services, I think they realize that with companies like AT&T, Verizon, even with Google with YouTube TV, and you have DirecTV Now with AT&T and DirecTV, there's a lot of services out there and a lot of competition. And I think T-Mobile is acknowledging the fact that mobile data services in itself is not going to be enough to compete with those companies because all they have to do, like recently with AT&T and DirecTV Now, or even for DirecTV customers, and even with Verizon that you can watch TV and not use your mobile data, if you use Verizon's mobile data services, T-Mobile sees all of that and they're like, you know what? We have to compete with those companies. How are we going to be more successful? How are we going to gain more customers? So I think what T-Mobile should do, if you guys really want to impress everyone in the industry, merge with a company that allows you to have that same kind of attitude. Because if you don't, you're just going to merge with another greedy cable company where it's business as usual. Because the way they try to charge consumers for their cable TV plans and the home internet is not about being fair to consumers. But I would like to know what you guys think about all of this. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think about T-Mobile possibly merging with a cable TV company or even them merging with another mobile carrier. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.